Okay folks, today we're going to test this vintage Blaupunkt Frankfurt US AM, FM, what's SW? Shortwave, I think, radio. And this just came out of the estate of a longtime car collector. It was found deep up in the attic of the garage, and it was in these boxes. The guy had owned lots of Mercedes and BMWs and a lot of American cars, lots of different things. Anyway, I think this one came out of a Mercedes based on the instructions that were in the box. This radio looks super similar with white push buttons instead of black, but it shows that fits Mercedes 190, 200, 220, 230. These are known for fitting lots of applications with the correct dash plate, but this one is likely for Mercedes, I would think. There was some spare parts in the box, bracket, this bezel that I believe hooks onto that faceplate and holds it to the dash, some hardware and things. There was also in this box a speaker, and the speaker connections for both were cut, and these have different colors, so I don't know if they were originally together or not, but I twisted them together, and we'll show you that it's working. We have it hooked up to a 12-volt power supply, an antenna, and the speaker here. A couple things before we get started. My AM reception is pretty weak where I live here. It's not the fault of the radio, just our location. I'll show you here. So we're deep in a valley down here, so you can see that's a hillside, and we're also in a steel building. And between the two of those, the AM reception is just pretty weak. So that's one thing to note. Secondly, the push buttons move the, see this little orange indicator? It'll move the dial, and it will move the indicator, but when you try to set one, let's say we wanted to set this one here, I'm not sure if I can do this with one hand, I guess I can. When you push it in, this should set it to that spot, but when you push it in, it moves it back to where it was set before. So the push button situation is going to need to be cleaned and lubricated, I imagine. It's been sitting for probably longer than I've been alive, I imagine. So anyway, we're going to test it out. We'll start out on AM here, so I'll just switch us over to AM, and we'll just tune until we get to a dial. Again, it's probably going to be around here where we finally get a station, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so to turn these on, you just push in on this guy, and there's our first station.
It made a point, it was familiar, and that's the best. That would have...
Again, the AM reception is weak, not the radio's fault. Okay, we'll switch over to FM here. So that's FM. We'll start at the end of the dial. Another interesting thing about these radios is AM goes up this way, FM starts low here and goes up this way, which is kind of unique to these radios.
More than just tragic. I was not prepared for them. It felt so much like otras variantes. Así es que seguimos en expectativa, Che. Eso es mi regla. ¿Por qué? Porque si alguien le quiera...
Anyway, real nice. The sound out of this speaker is a little distorted, but anyway, real nice reception through the dial here. And that's the end of the dial. So anyway, if you've been looking for a original Blaupunkt Frankfurt US radio for whichever application you're after, this one's real nice. Cosmetically, it's awesome. The chrome is super clean, the lens is awesome, the push buttons are all really nice, inner and outer knobs are there and intact. Even the whole rest of the outside, there's some decal missing here, but nothing to write home about. But just a real clean example, and it's got all of this paperwork with it. There's quite a bit of paperwork. There's something from Bosch here showing noise suppression stuff. And yeah, so if you've been looking for one, don't miss this, guys. These rarely come up for sale anymore, and this is a real clean example.